Deregulation in the civil aviation industry is creating a dangerous open sky system. An increasing number of airlines are choosing a flag of convenience in order to avoid taxes and employment legislation that requires them to deal with trade unions. Imposing low pay and poor working conditions, these airlines threaten the working conditions of all civil aviation workers. These open skies policies are being introduced through bilateral agreements between countries, but they do not always bring equal benefits to the parties. And now they are about to be incorporated into new ICAO rules that would extend liberalization and deregulate air transport on an international scale. The Multilateral Agreement. This agreement could have dangerous consequences for national sovereignty over airspace, the aviation industry, and working conditions. The multilateral agreement will de-link the substantial ownership and effective control criteria and open the way to unregulated migration of registrations and licenses. Aviation companies will be able to choose the flag of convenience with the regulatory controls that they believe will advance their interests the most and that offer the most advantageous tax and employment regimes. This could encourage countries to compete by offering the most favorable conditions for negotiations, with the risk of promoting social dumping and allowing companies to avoid rigorous regulation on operational safety. The agreement will also liberalize access to markets and traffic rights without considering the asymmetries between the airlines of different countries, which could promote unfair competition and the emergence of monopolies that will then be in a position to impose their own conditions. Liberalization without appropriate social clauses or safety conditions will entail greater deregulation of aviation to the advantage of the biggest and most powerful companies, in detriment to national sovereignty over airspace and the aviation industry, which is a key component of national economic infrastructure. But wait a minute, is this the inevitable way things are going to go for our industry? Who is responsible for creating regulatory frameworks to ensure that civil aviation is safe for passengers and staff? What is the ICAO? The ICAO is the International Civil Aviation Organization, a specialized United Nations agency responsible for promoting international civil aviation rules and standards. ICAO standards constitute the rules of the game and cover all aspects of air navigation, infrastructure, and safety. And of course, they affect the working conditions of civil aviation workers. All UN member countries are represented at the ICAO Assembly. Every 3 years, this assembly elects representatives from 36 countries to sit on its executive, the Council. And who represents these countries? A person, of course. Someone appointed by the aviation authorities of these countries. Someone to represent the country's political interests at the Supreme International Civil Aviation Decision-Making Body. Political interests that include safeguarding their sovereignty and the safety of their citizens and workers. Can workers and citizens complain if these people are not protecting our interests? Of course we can. As the global representative of civil aviation workers, the ITF has taken this responsibility seriously and is building strong relations with the ICAO. It attends the triennial assemblies and panels on regulation, onboard safety, and air navigation services. The ICAO Assembly recognizes that trade unions are key actors in the aviation industry. Experience shows that many governments agree with ITF proposals and are ready to support them at the ICAO. But this is not only about the ITF's involvement at the ICAO Assembly. We all have to take action and exercise influence on our country's representative at the ICAO. We need every union to identify who is the link between their government and the ICAO and try to arrange face-to-face meetings with them to discuss these issues, especially if their country is one of the 36 countries represented on the Council. We must question them at the national level so we are in a stronger position when we attend the next ICAO Assembly. It is crucial that the future economic regulation of our industry is closely linked to its safety and has adequate social standards, ensuring decent and sustainable jobs. This requires our governments to assert their sovereignty, and trade unions must take action to defend our interests.